Hi. I thought I'd do a vector problem for you guys today. So the problem that I decided to do is that the map suggests that Atlanta is 730 miles in a direction 5 degrees north of eastern Dallas. The same map shows that Chicago is 560 miles at 21 degrees west of north from Atlanta. Modeling the Earth as flat, use this information to find the displacement from Dallas to Chicago. Okay, so let's break this down into doable parts. The first step for these vector problems is always to draw yourself a picture. So I've done that here. Okay, so I put Atlanta at the center of the coordinate system because both of the other towns were given distances from Atlanta. And then you can see the north of east means you start east and you swing north by 5 degrees. So here I've done that. 5 degrees is a very shallow angle. So this is 5 degrees north of east right here, 730 miles. And then Chicago is 560 miles at 21 degrees west of north of Atlanta. So here's the 560 miles. I'm sorry, it's really not to scale. At 21 degrees west of north, you start at north and you swing west by 21 degrees. So that's my angle there. Okay, now the next step, once you draw your picture, is always to go to the vectors in their unit vector notation. So here, I've done that. I've given the distance from vector A is going to be Dallas to Atlanta. So 730 miles is that distance. And then here, remember, you can always use cosine of the angle for the x component if the angle swings counterclockwise from the plus x-axis. So here, if you look at the picture, this east is the plus x-axis. That's plus x here. Okay, so if this is plus x, I'm swinging counterclockwise. So 5 degrees is the correct angle then to plug into this formula. So that's just cosine 5 degrees I hat plus sine 5 degrees j hat times 730 miles for vector A. Now we're not so lucky with vector B. The angle that we're given is 21 degrees west of north. So in order to find the angle that you want to plug into your formula, you need to find this angle here, theta, which I call theta. And that's going to be 90 degrees to get from east to north plus 21 degrees to swing over to this vector. So if you plug that in, 90 plus 21 is 111 degrees. So that's what I've plugged into my cosine of theta part here for the x. So I have 560 miles times cosine of 111 I hat plus sine of 111 j hat. Okay, now I just sum those vectors up. I use vector summation to get my displacement. Because here's vector A, here's vector B. Using the tip-to-tail vector addition method, you can see that your resultant vector would be a vector sum. So I solve for these x and y components, and I've done that. And then, so for my x component of vector A, I get 727.2 miles. X component of vector B, minus 200.69 miles. And then I sum those up for my I hat component, vector addition, component addition. 730 sine of 5 degrees is 63.6. 560 times sine of 111 is 522.8. And then I do the vector sum for my y part. And then I get a resultant vector, 526.5 miles I hat plus 586.4 miles in the j hat. Then for my resultant vector, if I want to know the length of that vector, I just take the square root of the sum of the squares of the components. And so I've done that here. And what I get for the distance then from Dallas to Chicago is about 788 miles. Now, if I want to, I can find the angle, okay, that corresponds to for that displacement vector. To do that, I take the inverse tangent of the y over the x part. If I do that, I get 48 degrees. But now let's say that you need to know whether it's north of east or north of west or what. So what you always should do then is draw just your resultant vector. So here's that vector. It's got an x component of plus 526 and a y component of plus 586. And then what you do, this forms a right triangle because x and y are always perpendicular to one another. So your inverse tangent, if you find that angle, you're going to get this angle right here, opposite or adjacent. Okay? So that means that this is 48 degrees north of east. Remember, you start east and swing north, and that's exactly what you've got here. So hopefully that clears things up and helps you guys out.